Well, good morning, KELOLAND, and forecast first today. We are looking at some patches of light snow. There's even a little bit of light mixed precip as we've been showing you during the first half hour of the show. And these temperatures, they're kind of floating in that upper 20s to lower 30-degree range. So, again, that's lending itself to some of that light mixed precipitation. Closer look at the road report, and we'll get you set for the rest of the week. That's coming up in this half hour of KELOLAND this morning.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group, KELOLAND This Morning.
This morning, we'll introduce you to a gold medalist who trains at Great Bear.
Plus, we'll take you to the second annual Women's Day at Great Bear.
And the Iowa Democratic Party names a new party chair, why the former chair stepped down, coming up.
Good morning and welcome to KELOLAND This Morning. I'm Sophie Heineman.
And I'm Matt Holson. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. What's going on, BK?
All right, this morning, well, we've got a couple things happening out there. We've got a little bit of snow in the west. We're tracking a little bit of light mixed precipitation in southwest Minnesota. We've got some new advisories for that. And then in the middle, we have some fog that has developed. So let's begin with this on Viper. You can see the patches of blue there across the southwest. And that's definitely the configuration of some snow. Again, this is not going to amount to a lot of heavy moisture today, but it is out there and part of the process of starting to cool things down. You'll also notice these returns in southeastern KELOLAND. And as I mentioned at 4:30, when I got on the road this morning, notice right away on the windshield, there's a little bit of, well, light rain, at least a couple droplets, and then some of it was freezing on the windshield, too. So I imagine in Rock County, Laverne, and even down into northwest Iowa between Sibley and Worthington right now, looks like that is indeed a patch of light freezing rain. And I hate calling it that, but I think that's what it is. And so as a result of that, we have this, and a winter weather advisory in effect until noon. So that picks up on Interstate 90 right there, Nobles County, goes all the way east to Albert Lee and beyond. And it also includes the northern couple rows of counties in Iowa and the southern couple rows of counties in Minnesota. So that's what you need to know there. Temperatures across the rest of KELOLAND. Well, we're looking at mainly here, some of these numbers here into the 20s and 30s. We're going to talk about the big picture coming up, too, which is likely going to show more of these ups and downs. We've been dealing with that, haven't we? Well, 28 today in Aberdeen, 35 in Pierre. And keep in mind, you've got some fog in your direction this morning. Full look at the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Sioux Falls native Nick Mills is a three-time gold medalist in the Special Olympics, and every Sunday he tries to get out on the slopes at his hometown ski lodge to train. At the beginning of this month, Mills was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for the state skiing event for Special Olympics. He won 3 gold medals while he was there and is now back at Great Bear to continue training for the World Winter Games next year. He's been skiing for 6 years.
Well, I really wanted to learn how to ski, and I went out here to Great Bear, and without Great Bear, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Mills says he likes being outside and enjoying the snow. He also snowboards every once in a while.
Local champion Nick Mills wasn't the only one taking advantage of the nice weather out on the slopes, though. The second annual Women's Day, hosted by Great Bear and Sun and Fun, got beginner skiers and snowboarders out on the snow. Girls aged 12 and up got to enjoy a breakfast at the ski lodge and then learn the basics of skiing and snowboarding.
My 2 girls know how to ski really, really well, and I don't. And so when we come out here, they go on their own, and then I just sit at the bottom of the lift waiting for them, which gets really, really boring.
Kendall says she learned to snowboard at last year's Women's Day, so this year she's giving skiing a chance so her family can hit the slopes together.
Iowa Democrats have named a new state party chair. Former party chair Troy Price stepped down amid national backlash over the handling of the Iowa caucuses. Bo Bowman reports.
Thank you. Troy Price received a standing ovation from the State Central Committee Saturday afternoon as he resigned as chairman of the Iowa Democratic Party.
And while I may not be holding the gavel any longer, I look forward to fighting right alongside all of you and whoever takes this job next.
The SCC voted and elected State Representative Mark Smith as interim chairman.
Priority number one is to get out across the state and to talk to everyday Iowans and restore the faith in the Iowa Democratic Party.
Smith says his work starts Sunday as the IDP begins the partial recanvass of 143 caucus precincts, as requested by Mayor Pete Buttigieg and Senator Bernie Sanders' campaigns.
What we're going to do is we're going to, frankly, look at the evidence before us, and so a lot of that is going to relate to the caucus math worksheets, for example.
But IDP Rules Chair Melissa Peterson says the recanvass won't correct any of those worksheets, even if the viability math was done wrong.
If something like that happened, we can't go through and then reapportion how people would distribute themselves throughout the process of the caucus.
Peterson said the recanvass will only take a look at the caucus math worksheets and the summary sheets related to delegates, but not the preference cards new to the caucus this election cycle.
It is possible that some of the calculations would change, again, if they do not presume an assumption about something that happened in that room that would have altered the outcome or interfered with someone's participation.
The partial recanvass will be paid for by the Buttigieg and Sanders campaigns. Well, just ahead, a lot of activities can be played in the snow. One you wouldn't expect would be softball.
No, we'll show you a club that combines softball with a traditional winter activity. You're watching KELOLAND this morning.
Welcome back. Snowmobilers in Wisconsin played softball of sorts at the Outgame Conservation Club. This annual tournament sees people playing softball on their snowmobiles.
There is a traditional pitcher and batter. If the batter makes contact, they have to jump on their snowmobile to go around the bases. Fielders must stay in contact with their snowmobile to touch a ball that is hit.
The strategy is to try to get a hold of the ball and get it back into the infield. You have to stay in contact with your machine when you're playing, so the best strategy is just to try to get a hold of that ball, not overthrow the ball and not toss it around. You want to try to control the ball.
Organizers have been playing this tournament since the 1970s.
This looks like a lot of fun. I don't know why we don't have this here.
Might be a lot of fun, might be a touch dangerous, you think?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
But snowmobiles, what a blast.
Hey, got to make use of the time of the year, right?
Have fun outside, and it was pretty nice.
But yeah, it didn't look too cold there. No. You know, it's wintertime, and as long as the wind's not blowing, that's kind of always the big key, right?
Yes.
Especially in a softball game, doesn't matter what time of year. Well, we're looking at maybe some wind today. We've got to deal with some of that. But overall, the trend is toward colder weather through midweek. And then we'll kind of go back to, I'm thinking, pretty good weather by the weekend already. So
Awesome.
I'm just skipping ahead, right? Just move on to the
That's fine with
Can
me.
we all do do that? That'd be awesome.
We'll try. First things first, we've got a little fog to deal with, too. I do want to bring this up because we've got a dense fog advisory for those of you watching us at Pier and Mobridge. I was looking at the cameras there a little while ago, and yeah, indeed, it looked like quite a bit of fog in that area, so keep that in mind this morning. Also, as we're on this source here, let's bring up the latest of what's going on over here a little east of Sioux Falls. Do you notice these little patches of pink and purple? Not much, but it looks like we are getting some light freezing rain, and I will tell you that a few of those droplets have hit some of the surfaces out there. We're hearing a little bit about that, so not to draw a lot of attention to it, but it is enough to grab a winter weather advisory, and that's in effect until noon. Starts near Adrian and down to Sibley and goes all the way east into south central Minnesota. So keep that in mind for travel here today. I know it's a day off for some of you, and you might be on the road, so we want to make sure you're careful there. Also note the precipitation in the west. We've had some of this developing during the overnight, and that's a look at Rapid City. Again, over the last couple of hours, they've had a batch of snow too, and some of it, well, a little mixed there just because of the temperature profile. Look at the numbers right now here. We've got highs projected in the 30s across most of the southwest, and we're already starting at 36 in Valentine, 32 in Pine Ridge. So we're not going to see a lot of change there as we go throughout the day part forecast. And you look at the winds, well, they're starting to pick up in northern South Dakota a little bit, north of 15 in Faith, and there'll be an increasing wind as we go throughout the day today. All right, well, what's ahead next? Let's bring up this, shall we? This is our Futurecast update, and it brings in our clouds, our moisture. You can see that patch of snow in the southwest, and then everything that's around Sioux Falls, real light stuff. But I'll back out of the way so you can see, again, some of those patches of lighter snow in the forecast. Clouds are dominant. Probably they thin out a little bit here late this afternoon in the northwest, and then for tonight and tomorrow, we'll probably just start to trend colder. And as we do that, we have another opportunity for some lighter snow. Now, this probably comes in late tomorrow. It looks like the west and central might be a little better chance of that. I kind of want to side, though, with the European model, which we'll show you that coming up in a little bit. It actually wants to sprout up some snow here during the day on Tuesday in the northeast and then spread it towards Sioux Falls. Really light stuff, though. This isn't going to amount to much. In fact, we're not even putting together an accumulation map for it. It's going to be so light, but it is there at least as part of the forecast. And, in fact, that shows right up here on your 7-day. Now, temperatures, we slide a little tomorrow, 26, and then Wednesday, that's your cold day, right? So you've got 14 for a high. Morning lows are just a little bit above zero. Then we start the turnaround, and look at that. At the end of the week, we're in the upper 40s to near 50, and we're going to start melting some more snow at that rate. I think that's going to be an interesting turnaround. Now, Aberdeen also looking at a dry forecast starting Wednesday, Thursday, and then warming up toward the weekend. And we're going to go with the same idea there for Pier. After flurries and fog today, maybe 20 there on Wednesday is our cold day, but it doesn't last long, does it? Look at the mid-50s coming into western South Dakota at the end of the week. Well, Grant Smith is here this morning. We're going to talk to him as we continue later on KELOLAND This Morning. Don't go away.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Catholics in eastern KELOLAND have a new leader. Just ahead in this morning's Eye on KELOLAND, we introduce you to the new bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Sioux Falls. That story in 2 minutes. Good morning, KELOLAND. It's now 16 minutes after the hour. Here's a look at this morning's Eye on KELOLAND. A new bishop is leading the Catholic Diocese of Sioux Falls. Bishop Donald DeGrood officially took over Thursday when he was ordained and installed at the Cathedral of St. Joseph. In this morning's Eye on KELOLAND, Kelly Volk sits down with the bishop to find out how he plans to lead the diocese.
The Cathedral of St. Joseph is packed as people witness history. The ordination and installation of Bishop Donald DeGrood. This elaborate event started with a phone call on December 2nd.
Didn't recognize the number, and I just put it back in my pocket.
But he picked up the second time around. The voice on the other end wanted to know if he would accept the appointment to become the 9th bishop of the Diocese of Sioux Falls.
After I received the call and I went to pray about it, I just had really clear, strong sense in prayer from God that he wanted me to say yes, and he'd give me everything I need. So it's like, okay, this is clearly coming from God, so here we go.
Bishop DeGrood grew up a farm kid near Faribault, Minnesota. He first started thinking about becoming a priest back when he was an altar server.
So the stirrings have been in my heart for many, many years, and I've been discerning for many years with ups and downs, you know, because you want to discern, is God calling me to be married? What are my desires? All those kinds of things.
He most recently served as a parish priest in Savage, Minnesota, before being tapped as the next bishop of the Diocese of Sioux Falls.
I'm definitely a Minnesota guy, and yep, all my life, but I'm looking forward to now seeing what South Dakota life is going to be like.
This will be my last recorded Mass.
He took over for Bishop Emeritus Paul Swain, who led the Catholic churches of eastern South Dakota for more than 13 years.
Change is good. It's not always easy, but and so I think this is a great blessing to the diocese.
He says one of the most rewarding parts of the past several years is the restoration of the Cathedral of St. Joseph.
It's also a community and state landmark, and so we get all kinds of tourists and visitors who, and that's a wonderful thing. It unites us a little more.
What's been the most challenging part of being a bishop?
Well, certainly the child abuse issue, very challenging and very sad. And so speaking with victims and trying to provide some healing to help them to heal.
It's too early for Bishop DeGrood to talk about the issue at a local level, but he can speak about the work to confront it in Minnesota.
And coming from the diocese I did, there's been a lot of work that has been done to try to really not just starting more and more to help with the healing process, but also how do we get good systems in place and make sure these, as best as possible, that these things don't happen. You know, one is too many.
Bishop DeGrood will emphasize listening, consulting, empowering, and praying in his leadership role. But even in this early time, his goal is clear.
I would say my number one priority has been, even as a priest, has been to help people get to heaven. And what does that mean? That means basically helping them grow in their relationship with God, their relationship with others, basically helping people to live healthy, happy, and holy lives.
Bishop DeGrood calls this new assignment a great gift.
As I look back, I see God's hand in amazing ways of how he's just been guiding me all along and preparing me for what he's now calling me to do.
It turns out that phone call a few months ago would be a higher calling. With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Kelly Volk.
Bishop Emeritus Paul Swain said there were other challenges of the role too, including the merging of rural parishes. You can watch the full ordination and installation of Bishop DeGrood by clicking a link in this story on KELOLAND.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The NBA wrapped up its All-Star weekend in Chicago with a thrilling matchup between Team LeBron and Team Giannis. The game featured several tributes to the late Lakers legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others who died last month in a tragic helicopter crash. Deborah Alfarone reports from Washington.
A king named Kobe Bryant, who wore purple and gold.
Kobe Bryant's memory loomed large over Sunday's NBA All-Star game in Chicago.
This may only be a dream.
Magic Johnson led players and fans in a moment of silence before the start of the game.
We'll never see another basketball player quite like Kobe.
Team LeBron wore number 2 on their jerseys in honor of the NBA star who died last month, while Team Giannis wore number 24.
From the start, from every moment from the fans, chanting his name. Until you're seeing the numbers, every time you've seen Giannis' team run on the floor, you've seen the 2-4. So, he was definitely here.
The game's MVP, Kawhi Leonard, received the first ever MVP award named after the late Lakers legend.
Words can't explain how happy I am for it. Able to put that trophy in my room, in my trophy room, and just be able to see, Kobe's name on there. It just means a lot to me. He's a big inspiration in my life.
LeBron's team went on to defeat Team Giannis in a nail-biting fourth quarter featuring a new format. Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and the other victims of the helicopter crash will be honored in Los Angeles during a public memorial next week. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News.
$300,000 will go to LeBron's charity Chicago Scholars following his team's win. Let's get a check on our weather forecast now and send it on over to meteorologist Grant Smith joining us this morning. How's it going, Grant?
Oh, good morning, Matt, and good morning, KELOLAND. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. I was here last night, and I'm back today. And weather hasn't been a whole lot of change when it comes to the temperature-wise across the area from the 10 o'clock show last night. Still seeing 30s and upper 20s out there. Coldest up there in the northeast, where they're sitting in the lower 20s there. Aberdeen, 23 degrees. Ortonville at 21. In the southeast, warm enough that we're seeing a little bit of some icing concerns. That's why that winter weather advisory has been issued. And western South Dakota dealing with some thicker clouds and some of the snow coming out of those clouds. Let's look at the infrared satellite. Anything that you're seeing that's moving, that's white, yeah, that's going to be cloud cover. So we got some thicker clouds coming in from the west today. And there's a look at the latest imagery from the radar. Notice the southeast, not as much precipitation, but the pink colors there. That's where we're seeing some concerns there when it comes to the icing concerns. That's why that winter weather advisory was issued for those of you in the southeast. And as cooler air gets pulled in later on, we should be seeing that switch over to all snow. Just a little bit of snow, not expecting to see a lot. And then western South Dakota, seeing the more broad brush areas of the snowfall. But notice how the radar's kind of having a hard time picking up on just rain or just snow. So the temperature profile, as Brian was saying, is just set up that we're seeing that mixture of rain and snow. So your futurecast forward today, we got a couple things going on. First of all, low pressure down here in the south. That's what's bringing us the rain-snow mix in the southeast. And then a cold front up here that's going to slowly swing through, bringing us some cooler weather as we head into your work week. So there's your futurecast for today. Notice how the southeast will see that rain-snow mix switching over to snow as we switch to the backside of that low, but also that the snow is looking to kind of move on out of here. So we're looking at just leftover clouds, still seeing that snow in the southwest. As we go into tonight, looks like clouds tried to break apart there. But another low-pressure system comes in, bringing us another chance for snow as we head into Tuesday. During the day, best chance will be in central and western South Dakota, while the southeast will see the snow a little bit later on. But as I mentioned, it's not a lot of snow. And this is just the probability of just 1 inch of snow, just 1 little inch of snow through Wednesday. So both rounds of snow. Greatest chance in the southwest, 70 to 80%, while the southeast, 14% there in Sioux Falls and about a 50 to 60% chance there in Worthington. So that's why the snowfall forecast 1 to 2 inches in the southwest, and then about an inch or two in the southeast. This was put together last night, and well, hasn't really had a need to change as the forecast is being pretty steady. Then your 7-day forecast, as Brian showed, that cooler weather settles in. Cold air, middle of the week, only lasts about a day, and then it kicks on out of here. Look at that, warmer weather moves in, 40s and 50s. Expected for the weekend. So here's your forecast for today. We got 20s and 30s expected this afternoon, with mainly snow this morning and then fading out throughout the later parts of the day. Lots of cloud cover. And then tonight, we're going to cool down to temperatures in the single digits and teens. But most of those single digits will be found in the north and northeast. 14 for low in Sioux Falls. And then tomorrow, teens and 20s, a little bit cooler for Wednesday. And then that warm up begins. We'll take a look at that 7-day forecast again here in just a few minutes.